Hello, Paul here. I want to give you a training course today on Zoho CRM, but if you're starting a new job or you're going to a job interview and you want to be able to say, I understand or I know Zoho CRM, what I've got in a training video that's got 100,000 views is I ask in that video, what have you come here to do? Why are you watching it? And a lot of you guys said, I've just started a new company, or I'm looking into Zoho CRM because the company that I'm trying to get a job with use Zoho CRM. So what I want to do is give you some full training as fast as I can that's going to give you the knowledge to say, hand on heart, yes, I know how to use Zoho CRM to your new boss or to a prospective boss. Right, so we're going to go through it. I've got a plot list to get through. I'll put all these in order on a training course so you can go through in your own time, doing one lesson at a time, but I will do it as fast as I can. Okay, so stay with me. So like in my previous video, just pause me and put in wherever you're watching it. Let me know why you're here. Let me know what you're watching it for. Let me know the things that you're trying to get out of this training course that that may be missing later on. At the end, and then later on, you can comment back and tell me if there's anything missing, and I will add the questions. I will add the videos to the answers. But just at this moment, press pause wherever you're watching it. If you're in my training on my website or you're on YouTube, just write a little comment. Tell me why you're here and what you're watching me for. Cheers. Right, so let's get into it. What I'm going to do first is just walk around as if you're the admin or the boss. Then I'm going to invite you, and then I'm going to explain your sections throughout different lessons, right? I'll split it up in, if you're watching a large YouTube video, I'll put the chapter lessons in the description. But what I want you to do is see what your boss sees. So I'm not going to go through how to set up Zoho CRM in this training because this is already done. You're working with a new company. So this is all sample data. This is not real people. But your boss can see, I would presume if you're watching a CRM that you may be a part of a sales team, or you're going to be a part of a sales team. So your boss is going to be able to see all activity across the CRM. When you get invited later, depending on what they allow you to see, you might only see your contacts and your deals. You won't see everybody's deals. You won't see who's doing what. But the boss can. The boss can click on stuff, can obviously edit things, can change settings, change modules, and depending how high up the ladder you are, you may or may not have these settings. It also depends on what tier the boss is paying for, right? So if you're up here on an enterprise level Zoho CRM, you're going to get a lot more settings, you're going to get a lot more options, and we're going to go into it I'll go into it in a bit more detail in more lessons. But you're going to be able to customize things more if yours says up here enterprise level, right? When you click on your user, it'll say here what version you're using. So if you're on the free version, it does limit certain things you can do. But the boss is obviously, he's got God mode. He can see everybody's accounts. He can see everybody's leads. If he wants to, he can see your activity. He'll be able to see who you've phoned, calls that you've tracked within Zoho. Probably see your notes. Can see everything you write. Probably read your emails. Depending on what your boss is like, it's never cool, is it? But if they wanted to, they could tunnel into everything you're going to put in there. I would say that's pretty obvious that you would be able to do that. That obviously they've got full tabs. They're going to be able to run reports on you and your activity. And you'd expect that, wouldn't you? You'd expect that the boss can see everything. But you might want to look into some admin stuff, because there's things that your boss might not know is available in Zoho CRM that you can say, oh, why don't you do this? Or why don't you add this module? Or why don't we put a field that can do this? So if you get to know the admin side of Zoho CRM, you're going to be able to go in and say, look, why don't we add a field in here that's for, I don't know, website, or it probably is a website one, or secondary phone number, or referral partner. And then if you looked in the admin, I'm not going to dive into the admin stuff too much in this training because most of you won't need it. But you just go to module fields and you go to contacts, the standard layout, and you can add a field. But your boss might not know this. You know, I'm not belittling your boss or anything, but they might just be using it out of the box, not realising that you can put, oh, we'll put another email address here. What's that? That'll be an email for, you know, contacting a partner or... But this actually is a section where for a lot of you guys in a real estate environment, you might need little check boxes, little tick areas where you need a set area. You might put a new section, add a new section where you need, I need a date of first meeting, I need the number of the, what do you call it, the lease or the certain document. I need a phone number for the landlord. I need multiple selections. So you can create and edit each view, but only in admin. You know, your boss is probably not going to let you change all these settings. But if you need anything and you're on a decent level, you know, if you're on the free version, you can't edit too much. I don't think you can edit anything at all. But what I'm saying is, go into it knowing that the Zoho CRM is fully customizable. You know, if your boss says, oh, I don't know why we call it deals, I'd rather call it opportunities, you can change the names of this stuff. I don't want accounts to be, I want it to be clients, or I want it to be prospects, or, you know, you can change everything. Everything's got, it's a customizable program where you can change views, you can edit things, you can filter things out. So all I'm saying is, as you go through the training, know that you're going to understand the basics, but there's a lot that Zoho CRM can do. And if you or your fellow employees are getting stuck, know that you can ask the question and there'll be a pretty steady fix for adding a field or changing something or creating a workflow to save you time. But that's all on admin level. For this training, I'm going to get you through the basics, right? So that bit, I just wanted you to know that there's a top tier. There's a place where your boss is going to be able to change things, right? Right, so now I'm going to invite you, or me, as a employee, new starter into the CRM, right? So I'm going to go to this little spanner and screwdriver. There's probably a wrench in America, isn't it? I'm going to go to users. If I clicked on it, and I'm just going to add a new user. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, let me just delete this one, right? Deactivate. Yeah, I understand. The free version or the free trial only lets you have 3 users. So I'm going to click new user. I'm going to put in test video training. So that's going to be your name. Test video. Spell it right, Paul, at paulnicholson.com. Computers, all of a sudden sounds like it's going to take off. He's going to select which role you're allowed. Now, I haven't set up different roles for stuff, but so you're just going to be a manager at this point, and you're going to be a standard user. When I click save, you're going to get an invite. Let me just go here and log out of this side. So you're going to get an invite when it comes through. It's in the junk, look. So you might want to look in your junk if your boss says he's emailed you and you've got an email link like this, right? What I'm going to do is copy that link. You're just going to click on that and it'll open your default browser. I've already on my default got the boss logged in. So what I'm going to do is just going to paste that link in. And it's going to open up, create a new Zoho account, right? So I'm going to put test video. So I can't remember what I called myself. Put in a password and create account, right? That will get me into the system for the first time. And depending on the settings, I've allowed on this setting all the contacts to be shared. These are all the boss's contacts or other people's contacts, I've allowed them to be shared. You might have a blank page here. You might have no accounts and no contacts because it's your job to populate with a list of accounts you've already got, or with contacts that you already have. So you may be seeing a blank page. I've allowed, just for this video, the employee to see other people's deals. So you can see Paul Nicholson's the boss, right? And I've allowed it that you can share it and edit it. So you wouldn't generally be allowed to go into one of the boss's deals and change it to being you. So just be aware that when you log in for the first time, you might be seeing blank data and you wonder why. It's because you're not allowed to share other people's information, okay? So now we're going to really delve in. Now we're going to dive into each tab. I'm going to give you a walk round of everything. We're really going to get our teeth into it now. Right, so let me talk you through all the tabs quickly, and then I'll go into each area individually in a separate lesson so you understand it a little bit further. So obviously the home page is where you're going to set up dashboards that match what you need. If you need to see tasks that you've got to do today, leads, you want to see your pipeline, how much money have you got in your pipeline, what deals you've got closing this month. This is where you're going to change and set your basic dashboard, the things where you want to be one click away from, the stuff that you do all the time. The beauty with Zoho CRM is there's lots of different ways of getting to the same place. There's lots of things you can set up. You can go up here and set up new tabs. Obviously with this setting you can't, but you could get different tabs here that said one might be a certain department, or the next might be accounts. So they don't see all the deals or anything. They just want to see outstanding money or something like that, or the product delivery department just want to see what deals are coming down the pipeline. They might have different tabs at the top. But for you and for the default setting, I'm just going to go through each one. Sales inbox, I may not set it up in this course, but if you have sales inbox set up, you can then see who you've sent emails to, if they've opened them, if they've replied to them, any integration between you and certain contacts. You know, it says here, answer email organization, CRM actions inside email, notifications for open clicked emails, CRM templates, filter emails, response watch. So this is where you can really see when you've sent an email to a client, have they opened it, have they clicked it, and did they reply, are you still waiting on stuff. The feeds here is where you're going to be a little bit like a social media feed. It's updating your status. It's your first day on the job. Happy to be here, and post, right? So this is like something where you would put working on Mr. Smith's. I always work with security companies, so it's easier for me to explain as a security company. CCTV quote. Anybody know him? So you might ask your fellow people. I don't know why it's not showing, but I wrote my first message. This can go now. Well, if I refresh it, will it go? Are you sure? Yes, go. Unable to process. Okay, that's not good, is it? So you're going to be able to put in this section when it works, if it works, what what you've been up to, what other people are up to. It's a little bit of a how was your weekend sort of stuff. Leads is a place where, in my opinion, leads are things that are hearsay, are grapevine things, something where you've heard something's going on. You've gone. So again, I work with security companies. So if you hear that the local shop has just been burgled, you might put in local shop might need a new burglar alarm. And you might put it in here. If your friend says, I've been talking to so and so at so and so company, they're looking for a new fire alarm, put it in your leads. These are hearsay things. These are back burner things that could turn into accounts, could turn into deals. and then you convert those into a deal by transferring it into an account. Now, accounts are either customers that you work with, or they're people that you're writing quotes for, that you're actually interacting with. So these are companies. The accounts of the company, the top level company that you're dealing with, whether it's already a customer or it's somebody you're giving them a quote or some information. So that might be an individual as well, but most part it's a company. Then the contact is obviously a contact within that company. So this is a person who works for the account that you're dealing with, that is your direct contact. And then I'm going to go through each one individually in a separate lesson, but you're going to have different information where you're going to be able to track notes and information on certain people to help with deals, to help with future exchanges, and get the most out of your CRM. So leads are like grapevine, back burner, possibilities coming up. Accounts are definitely people that you're in contact with, the businesses that you deal with, that you are in contact with, or are you're negotiating with, or they're already clients. Contacts are the people within the accounts that you integrate with, interact with. And then deals. This is where your pipeline is. This is where you'll put in your quotes or your prospects, your deals basically, and then you'll have a different status for each one. Activities. This is where you're going to be able to track customer information, open deals, your leads and your contacts, and you're going to be looking at meetings here, phone calls you've done, phone calls you've got to do. That's what this is up here: task, event, call, all sorts of things like that. So that's what your activities tab's going to be for. And then lots of other options you may or may not have up here. Reports obviously is going to be a big one. It's where you're going to run your reports, you're going to see your information, you're going to keep on top of your funnel, forecast, how well you're doing. Campaigns. This is more like if, like in olden days, you would say to a customer, where did you hear us from? How did you get our number? And they might say, I saw you at Yellow Pages, or I saw an advert on Facebook, or I've been referred to by somebody. And you would create a campaign. So if you've got a Facebook advertising campaign, you would create the campaign, and then any deal that said, I saw an advert on Facebook, you would tag to that campaign. And then if you've spent £2,000 on this campaign, but you've received 10,000, 20,000 deals, you're going to be able to track how much that campaign cost us and how much revenue did we make from that campaign. So that's a cool feature. Then you're going to be cases is issues that you've got that you need to go back to and make sure customers are happy. Products is obviously products in your system, so you can add to quotes. Solutions is sometimes the cases as regular solutions. So if you've got an issue in your business where there's a set solution and there's what would it be, a customer's forgotten a burglar alarm code. Well, this is how you reset your code. Customer doesn't know what to do when the alarm goes off. This is what the customer should do. We're looking for a brochure for something. Here it is. Vendors, people you work with that obviously supply your equipment. Price books. This is some customers get different prices. So you set up a price book with maybe a 20% discount on anything. Quotes is obvious. Quotes for your system. Sales orders. When you've got a quote signed off, it goes to a sales order. Purchase orders is people giving you purchase orders to do the work. Invoices are pretty obvious. Documents you want to save, and then forecasts. So again, and you can add more modules, or the boss can add more modules. But I flew through that. I'm going to go into each one individually, but I want you to know that if you're in a job interview or if you've started a new company, the leads are back burner possibilities, things that you've heard about, hearsay, grapevine, your connections have come up with stuff, but you haven't physically touched that customer or contact, or you don't think it's an active deal or it's any possibility. You know, there might be a company building something in 10 years' time. You might put that in your leads. On a back burner thing. Accounts are the businesses. Contacts are the contact people in the business, in the accounts. Sometimes it can be an individual where the same person name is the account, but the contact is that same person, because it's a residential customer, a one-on-one customer, not an actual business you're dealing with. Deals, that's where we're going to get into, you know, where you're making your money, the whole CRM theory. Alright, so that was a fly through of the tabs. We're going to go into what each one individually next, okay? Right, so let's just go deeper into leads, because you might just come to this lesson and say, what's leads? And jump past the last lesson, or you might just want a refresher of what is leads. In my mind, these are not your customers, these are not people you're dealing with. These are new possibilities, new things in the system where you may or may not think there's an opportunity to do business. So if you're a real estate agent, this might be Mrs. Smith is selling her house. She's said to somebody, you know, she's talking about moving house. You don't know any more than that. You don't know any more than hearsay that that's going to happen, and you're not sure if it's going to happen. Or again, it's easier for me to do it in a security industry example, because that's who I work with. You know, you went round a supermarket near your business and you can see the cameras are outdated. So you might put in, there's always a different places where you can do stuff. So you can go leads, just click add a lead. You can go plus here and just click add a lead, right? So I might put, so lead owner's me, company is Modern Mart Supermarket, right? That's the company. First name of the lead, last name I don't know. I don't know who this person is, right? At this point, I don't know who the manager is. I might put in find manager. Right? You might not know. You might not know title, email, website. You might know some of this information or not. But what you're really looking to do on the lead is just drop in that the lead is there. Cameras are outdated. Possibility for a cold call to see if they want to upgrade. Something like that, right? That is what I consider leads to be. Things that people have given you that you aren't actively involved in, aren't saying, you know, it says here, look, trade show. Somebody at a trade show gave you their card. Or advertisement, web download. So you might actually, in the lead section, have, imagine on your website, you have a form that says, fill this in if you want a salesman to contact you. And then your boss has the ability to associate either you with that lead on the website, or they can round robin it. If there's 5 of yous, it might be your turn next. And this lead gets assigned to you, and it's somebody who's shown interest in something you're selling on the website. And you've got whatever they've filled out in that form. So when you've gone down and you've got, you know, all the access, you've got, website form, will drop an email. You might put here, Sam in accounts knows this person. They might have come to you and said, oh, you've been assigned a new deal, a new lead. I know that person. So you might put in information on that person to just, you know, little bits and bobs that you know about them or you don't know about them. Maybe it might be wrong phone number. You know, need a proper phone number. So within each lead, within each all these tabs, you can do this open activities, or add a new task, add a new event, or log a call. So I might put here, find out phone number. When's it due? 17th. Is it high? Not really. It's just a lead, right? It's not. These are not your core business. These are not your. These are not people that you're diving on. These may be the ones that you go back to when you're in need of work. Because obviously your deals and your accounts and the deals that you're working on will be your higher priority. But this is something to go back to later. Reminder. Send me a reminder. Not going to repeat, and save, right? So now when I go tasks, I've got my tasks open. Open deals. So I've got, look, find out phone number. So this is showing all activities. You might just want to show yours. My activities, right? So you just want to see that, but you wouldn't necessarily see other people's activities. It's just because I've opened it up. So you see now in leads, I've created a lead. I've got a task to do with that lead. Now, when I get that person's phone number and call them, I'm going to log what the call was about. I'm going to log the call, and then I'm going to convert them to an account. If I think, right, we're going to go to the next step, they want me to go for a meeting, I'm going to move them across to an account and a contact. Right, so we're going to talk about that next. So I've gone to this lead. Let me go back to my leads. Here you go. Is that going to go? Fine. Oh yeah, this is. And I want to, I've made the phone call at Modern Mart, and I now know that this is Mr. John Smith, right? I know that he's manager. His email's john@modernmart.com, whatever, right? I know the website's modernmart.com. And after I've spoke to him, I now know they want me to give him a price on a new CCTV system, right? So I'm going to save it. But what I'm now going to do is create an account and a contact. So I'm going to convert. Let me go back. I jumped on that a bit quick. I'm going to just click convert, right? So now this person's actively talking to me. As far as I'm concerned, they're in my pipeline. I've moved them towards being a customer. So now they're in my contacts because I'm talking to them. So I click convert, and it's going to say it's going to create a new account for Modern Mart Supermarket. So what we've said is accounts are the business, and the contact is the person. Then you might want to put, in this scenario, create a new deal. You might want to tick it and say, yeah, amount. This is new CCTV. I'm going to put 20,000. Deal name. I might just put CCTV upgrade Modern Mart Supermarket. You might even need to put Modern Mart. You can move that around if you want. Closing date. I'm going to give myself 4 or 5 weeks. It's a big job. The stage is, again, whatever's been defined in your company as the funnel. So this might be, qualification. This was the phone call. Do you want to? Are you thinking about upgrading your system? Needs analysis is where we're at now. We need to monitor what we need to do, get prices, send the value, send the quote. ID decision makers. I don't know why that's all the way around, but you've already ID'd the decision maker, really does. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you need to work out who needs to sign off, and then send a proposal or quote. So depending on what your stages look like, and remember in lesson 1 we said this can change. Everything's, if you say to your boss that don't make sense, the funnel's not in order, then you can change it around. So I'm going to say need analysis for that. Campaign source, and this was, again, there's no campaign set up. This was a cold call. But if it was somebody who phoned you on the back of an advertisement somewhere, you would put that advertising campaign. Contact role, purchasing, executive, engineering, lead, product manager. See, none of these are really out of the box, makes sense. I'll put purchasing. But again, you might want to change the contact roles. Owner of this record is you, and convert. So now we've converted it. You're going to get, there's obviously some gamification going off for how many times you sign people off or not. You've now got your first account, your first contact, and your first deal, right? So I'm going to talk about accounts, contacts, and deals next, and I'm going to filter out the other stuff. So I'm just going to filter out what you can see, right? So here in leads and accounts, I'm just going to turn it on so it's just private, right? So this will now make it that you can't see other people's stuff and they can't see yours. Not you to set this. This is for the boss or the IT team to set this. So I just want to filter out that other stuff so it's only showing your information, right? Let me just close that because it sends my computer into helicopter mode. So now all the leads have gone. The only account is your account we've just set up. The only contact is yours, right? So I want to get you at this point into just seeing your information. Okay, so we now are into deals. What deals are in my pipeline? What have I got to work with? What contacts am I dealing with? Do I have information? So now from contacts, you're going to be able to track. If your emails are synced, you're going to be able to send an email to that contact. John Smith. In fact, so I can show you. If I change him to John at paulnicholson.com, I'm going to be able to send an email. Hello, John. From directly within the program. If your sales inbox is all set up, you're going to see the replies too. I haven't got it set up, and actually when I reply, here's the look. So test video training has just sent me, how are you? Because it's a catch-all, it wouldn't show. I'd be surprised if it shows up. It won't show up. Because it's a catch-all, it actually goes to it goes to me. So in your system though, imagine that person's replied. You're going to see emails in between. You're going to see all their information. You're going to see if you've got previous customers, previous work done. You're going to be able to see the previous deals. You're going to be able to see things they've bought. Everything that's going on for this customer. You're going to be able to see at one click at a time where everything is. So it's you can just bounce around in Zoho CRM. But what in this training course I want you to get is, this is you're starting a new company or you're going for a job interview. The contact is the person, the account is the company, the lead was the grapevine possibility that we don't put into our contacts until we've got some interaction, some possibility of turning them into a customer. So within that contact, I can obviously start changing things. I can add phone numbers. I've got, whatever phone number. I've got a mobile number. I can, from the mobile device, I can phone that person straight away. I'll show you the mobile app if I can in the end. I can see, I can put a department in, sales process. I don't know what that means, but I can add notes. I've gone and seen John, married, 3 kids. If it tells you your kid's name, Emily, Sarah, Dave, supports, I don't know, Sheffield United, like me. So this is stuff that when you go to meet John again, you can say, our kids, how's our Emily, did you watch Sheffield United versus so and so, did you go to that game? So in notes you can start putting information that you, for the next time you go to a meeting, doesn't like the new black cameras around town or something like that. Likes Pelco or whatever that company is. He's heard of them and he likes them. So you're creating notes, you're creating information on a person that you can go in and when you might not see that person for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you've got a place where you're going to be able to tag and track and see everything that happened between you and that person. New call, log a call, call for info, call purpose, prospecting, related to that account, call was outbound. You can tack it at that time by start. You could say, call for more details. Billables, obviously, if you do billable stuff and start calling, and it would phone him. It's going to phone that random number. So obviously, if your system's connected to a phone system, it'll phone out as well. I forgot he did that. I actually meant to just track it. So you might just do a completed call and put the times in. So what I think you're getting, I don't want to bog you down too much with a one step at a time. It's pretty obvious that your activities with that person is new phone call, new meeting. Well, that would be the event, scheduling event. A new event is walk around. I never know if walk around is one word or two. It always tries to tell me it's two, but I'm convinced it's one. Walk around supermarket. That's probably 2 words and all. Location supermarket. You might put your time in. So let's say it's going to be at 5 p.m. on Thursday till 5 a.m. Oh no, that's 5 p.m. 7, right? Host is you. Participant would be John. So if there's more, you could add more. You could add, if you've got show contacts related to users. So you might want to say, I'm going to invite the boss because the boss has got knowledge. I'm going to invite the install manager because he wants to come and see that person, or someone with technical knowledge might want to come. Send invitation to guests. I would put send. That's gonna send me an email, I think, isn't it? It's probably gonna send me 2. So you're seeing that within contacts, within the account, you can see, this is what's happening within that contact. This is the person within that contact. Here's emails. Here's the activity. Here's deals and notes. All of a sudden, I'm building information on this person that would just be in your mind or in a notebook or on a phone or whatever it is now. It's saying there, hello, video unopened. If you've got information at your fingertips, you can go down to the bottom and add, if you're connected, you can add their Twitter feed. And it'll go off and try and find that person on Twitter. And you can connect it to that person or that company on Facebook. So if it's an account, a managed account, you can connect to them and say, this is, I don't know if it does LinkedIn actually. What was the third one? Google Plus. Yeah, you'd think it'd do LinkedIn, wouldn't you? But all of a sudden, within the contact, within the company, you've got one-touch buttons to access their information, to see who that person is. You can add a Twitter feed and say it's somebody. So now you're watching what they put on social media too. You're saying, well, I saw you were, you could follow them on Twitter, and then you might say, I saw you were at the game on Saturday, or I saw the company had a new opening, or there was a new product you're selling. More information all the time, isn't it? All about information. It's all in one place. So that's, contacts and accounts. I'm probably a little bit shuffled around it, but I think you're getting the point that all your information for your account and your contacts are in one place. You're one click away. What's happening? You're one click away from seeing what's happening here, right? So we'll talk about deals next. We'll get into the deals section. So now you're seeing the progress. You're going from a lead to an account or a contact. Then we're going to have deals for each contact, and that's where we're going to try and convert them to customers and then deliver stuff. Right, so let's talk about deals. This is where you're getting people in your sales funnel, and on this deals area, it's left to right, as it's like an old T-board system that people used to have on the walls. You put a little card in a T-rack saying Mrs. Smith or Mr. So-and-so, CCTV, whatever this is. And you'd want to move them across. And the more you got across, they got to the next stage and then the next stage. You're getting closer to putting them through your funnel. All your funnel stages change in value as you move it. But you move across, right, I've sent a quote. We're into negotiation now. And finally, they've signed off and we've won that deal. So obviously that is the basic option of what's happening in this deal section. All of your deals you want to move either to close won or close lost. You don't want deals just to be sat there forever doing nothing, do you? So even if it's, this customer, you've got to know they don't want it, we're going to drop it into close lost. Or if you know what the competition is, you say we lost it to them down the road. Or it's just a close loss. I don't know what the difference between them two is. Close loss won, close loss was. Yeah, that seems a little bit out of whack, that. So anyway, what you're looking for though within your funnel, because you've got your funnel here, is as you move things across, you want to get down to quote one, don't you? This is the first stage, all the way down to, closed one is what you're after. Obviously, you know what a funnel is. I don't want to show you too much, but within deals, just like contacts and accounts, there's also different play. You can also change the status of the job here, of the quote. You can move it across. You can access the contact information, access the stage history. So as you change stages moving forward, you can see when you moved it. Any attachments, if you've got competitors that are up against you, you've got information on this deal, you're going to put it in here. You're going to want to add a quote, and I may do a separate section for adding a quote, but let's just imagine at this point that your quote part is all set up. You would just click new quote and add it, and you could add from that quote, you send it off, and then you change it to proposal sent, right? Then when they've accepted, they've got the proposal, you're into a negotiating. When they finally sign off, you put a date when they signed off, closed won. You would then create a sales order, or you would convert the quote into a sales order. You could tell your inventory manager that this is, whatever the process is in your business, it would go, obviously then, once the quote's won, you'd hand it to whoever does the product delivery. You would then hand it over. Your deal is then finished, or again, depends on what you've got to do. But your part, obviously, is getting them over the line and won. And this, again, activities, open activities. We can create a new task for that activity. We can create a new event for that activity, a new phone call. Everything we need to do for that deal to get it over the line. But once you're finished, you hand it to the product delivery team, and they're away. So the deals part is really your funnel. You can have it in a list area like this instead if you prefer. You can change these views. Anything I'm missing in this training course, you can ask me in the training, and I will add videos. But I'm trying to get you past an interview or into a new job seat as fast as possible without bogging you down. I could obviously go on. There's hundreds and hundreds of things that you can do, but I think you're getting the gist. That in each area, you can tunnel into something. You can add activities. You can add different information. Here's your notes again. Add in whatever's happening with that deal. So you've got one-click places for information. Okay, so we'll move on to. We'll probably go to activities next. Right, I'm going to leave you there because I think you've got enough to go on with within that training and that quite a long YouTube video. I'll have broken down in the description the sections to each place so you can jump back to certain places. I don't want it to drag on too long. If you come to my website, I'll also put a link below to full training within Zoho CRM for new employees, or if you go into a job interview and you know that customer, that company uses Zoho CRM, I'm going to make it easier for you to jump around without me trying to do it all at 100 mile an hour in one video. So I hope this helped. I hope it's got you a step closer to a new job, or a little bit more comfortable with the job you've just started. Any questions, always leave them below. Jump into my training, come and see me. I'll always try and help if I can. Okay?